But let's move on to the next topic we have, which is
Yeah.
in your wheelhouse.
Uh-huh.
The announcement that Fort Wilderness is now converting to DVC
Yeah.
market.
So I believe it came out, it was either Thursday or Friday, that Fort Wilderness, the cabins at Fort Wilderness Lodge will become DVC, I guess you would say villas.
Hmm.
Walter and I are a little confused. The one article we read is that the way they wrote it, I'm unsure. I think we're both unsure. Are they going to keep the existing cabins and do a total gut refurbishment? Or are they going to replace those cabins? Because the numbers I see are up to 350 cabins at Fort Wilderness. And their
Hmm.
expected opening is sometime in 2024. My opinion is that's going to be late 2024. You got probably a year and a half before that opens up. And then they're going to have to open, points to this. This is going to have to be, I don't see any other way. It has to be a new contract. This is going to be
Yeah.
the set. I believe it is that would become the 17th Disney Vacation Club hotel on Walt Disney World property. So I have never stayed at it, but this is like, is this? Let me ask you, Walt, is this Disney's way of bringing DVC to the moderate level? Or is it just based on its location and the cabins have been such a hit over at Wilderness Lodge? Is this the next best thing?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see, because of its location, proximity to Magic Kingdom,
Uh-huh. Boat right away.
that's one of the reasons why I think DVC is trying to expand, like you said, possibly into more of a moderate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the primary reason for them doing this is the location of that resort to the Magic Kingdom. So
Yes.
they're trying to maximize the real estate value that they have in that area without having to build something
Mm-hmm.
new and invest that way. They're going to expand into something that already exists and maybe transition it into something else. Like you said, the article does, and I believe it's directly from Disney, that it says that they are, sounds like from our interpretation, that they're going to completely build something new, which Kenny and I are kind of doubting because of the timeline of
Mm-hmm.
this and when they, are predicting that it would be ready to go. Sounds more like, to me, it would make sense to just refurb it
That's
to,
what I
like you
think.
said, to a DVC motif slash decor that they're looking for. But we'll see. But if you're DVC, it gives you another option. It from according to the article, they're going to build a pool
Mm-hmm.
and a walking trail.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives you a and you could speak better on this than I can, but I would assume that this gives you a different type of DVC vacation, because compared to some of the other DVC resorts, this, you with the walking trail and the kind of the wilderness
Yep. And then you
slash.
have the horse ranch back there, and yep.
Yeah, so you're in Disney, but you're
You're not.
having a slightly different experience. So and as we've talked about many times before, it's about the theming.
Yes.
So this is definitely one of those resorts that if you're into that type of theming, it will be immersive in that sense because you're out in the woods basically, in a cabin. So.
Yes. And if you look, and we'll put it up on the screen right now, if you compare the picture that Disney has put out, the artist rendering, compared to what they look like now, I I think they're refurbing it. Well, I mean, I like the picture. I think it looks good. I
Mhm.
mean, and it's just an outside picture. You don't know what the inside's going to look like. It is going to. They're stating that it's going to sleep six. You will
Yes.
have a kitchen in there, so you're going to have your refrigerator, you're going to have your stove, you're going to have your microwave. So
Mhm.
they are bringing another level of villas and cabins into the DVC world. I can see. I'm torn. Like, I've only been down there for the Pioneer Hall for why is it for the show. I can't think of the name right now. It loses me.
The hoop-de-doo?
Yes, thank you very much. The Hoop-de-Doo
You're
review.
welcome.
So that is the only time I have ever gone down there was for Hoop-de-Doo.
Okay.
I've never seen a cabin up front. I, I'm excited. I think it is completely something different. I'm just curious now on how the contract's going to be, how many points is it going to be to stay there when it opens, and how hard is it going to be to get in there if you are not an owner at Fort Wilderness. I guess they would call it the villas at Fort Wilderness Lodge or the cabins at Fort Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, I
So
can't imagine that they would increase it point-wise much more than some of the other ones. I would assume it'd be comparable to some of the other villas.
uh,
I don't know if you mentioned this, but if you saw, they're actually going to try to accommodate the DVC members with turning Trails End into a food court
mhm.
type of a location for that resort that they're building.
Yeah, and I said to you pre-show that makes total sense because what was it? Well over a month or two ago that it came out that Trails End was going to be closing for a refurbishment, and now it totally makes sense with this news coming out that Trails End closing. They want to redo Trails End to more of, like you said, a food court, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere DVC comes that says, "Hey,
Mhm.
welcome home
Yeah.
to your cabins at Fort Wilderness Lodge." You like that? I went, I'm hoping I'll become a voice actor
There you go.
for
You just
voice
voiced
actor for
over.
DVC.
You could be on the Room TV. How's that for your
I
future
would love
career?
that.
Yeah.
The guy they have on there out. I'm in.
Yeah.
But so let me ask
Well,
you, Walt, before we move on, are pros, cons? Are you liking this, not liking this, or have no opinion at all?
I think it's great for just I'm obviously not a
Mm-hmm.
DVC member, but to speak towards the DVC members, I think it's a good option for them. I think
Mm-hmm.
it gives them something else that they can look forward to, a different type of vacation,
I agree.
and choices and options are always a good thing. I don't
I
think that's a
agree.
bad thing. I think like you said, it depends on, are they going to now gouge you guys
That's what I'm
with
worried about.
the points,
Yep.
and but as far as like availability, I think another possible reason why they're doing this is because maybe those weren't super popular and they wanted to convert them into something
Become
that will
popular.
generate,
Yes.
yeah, become popular and generate more interest, because I think those types of vacations were kind of a niche vacation
Mm-hmm.
where certain people were interested, but not everybody really wanted to stay in those cabins.
Yep.
Whereas now you make it a DVC experience where now you're going to build some popularity and some interest into it, possibly with minimal investment on
Yep.
their part
Oh,
in terms of,
absolutely.
outlay,
Yep.
because like you said, more than likely they're going to just refurb the existing cabins and not just detonate them and build new ones. So
Boom.
yeah, it'd be part of the fireworks. Um, but yeah, I think it's a good thing for DVC members. I think it's something for them to look forward to. Um,
I agree.
and it's a good place to spend your renewed contract, or I'm sorry, your renewed annual pass
There you go.
that everyone just renewed.
So think about this, Walt. Before we move on, we were talking about this too. So they didn't give a date yet, or I have not seen a date yet that any of this would start to go up for sale yet. But
Hmm.
currently, if you are in DVC, they have Aulani, which is still up for sale. Riviera still up for sale. The new addition, that repurposed building over at the Grand Floridian,
Hmm.
those are now currently for sale. Disneyland Hotel for sale, and now you're going to have
Right.
this. You're looking at, did I do the math right? That'd be 5.
Right, and
To
then
some
also
extent, yes.
you're also leaving out a huge amount of resale that's
Mm-hmm.
available online. If you go
Correct.
to the DVC rental store or any of the resale websites that are
Yep.
available, you'll notice there's a ton of inventory available. Now, some of the contracts are getting gobbled up, but some of the larger contracts are sitting
Mm-hmm.
for a long period of time, because you're looking at some investments that are in the $20,000 to $30,000
Uh-huh. And
range.
interest rates have
Um,
climbed.
yeah, so folks aren't really, jumping into those. And like you pointed out, you do have quite a bit of actual, direct contracts that are still
Mm-hmm.
available. And interestingly, we talked about this before we started taping about Aulani, and I had seen an article about Aulani on the internet a while ago about how that possibly will be a resort that may never sell out through DVC direct.
I agree with that.
And now there is one of the things that I just read, which is
Hmm,
also on another
this is
website,
good.
dvcnews.com, where there is a state of Hawaii transient accommodation tax, which currently stands at 10.25% of your. It's based on your points, and it's a fee based on the resort's annual dues. And my favorite part of this is that it gets added on the back end of your stay, so you really don't know how much you owe in tax until you're ready to check out, and then they whack you with the transient tax. I mean, I guess you could calculate it
Yeah.
possibly beforehand,
Thank you for coming to Hawaii. Now pay us and leave.
but yeah, but I mean, I like to pay for my vacations and not have to worry about what I'm
Agreed.
going to owe at the back end of it,
Yeah.
other than maybe my room tab.
Exactly.
Um, but that's a hefty price. I mean, at 10% is a hefty tax to add on, which I'm, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel, but I think that will keep a lot of folks away from visiting Aulani, no matter how beautiful it may be in Hawaii.
Yeah, and because Hawaii is someplace that is on my bucket list to use my points there one day. But you have to look at it. Us coming from Jersey, you'd have to take at least a 10-day. You're going to lose basically a day of travel there and back. So that's you're already down to 8 days.
Right,
So if I'm going out there, I want to experience at least 7 to 10 days, full days, not two of those days being travel.
right.
So it looks beautiful. I've known people that have gone out there; they love it. There's still so much to do. I think that's one of the things that we worry about. Even with me, not to get off topic. Like later this year, I'm going to Vero Beach for the first time. So it is different because you don't have anything else besides. You're in Disney World. You get bored, you go to the park, water park,
Right.
Disney Springs. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now if I get bored of Vero Beach, I will, still drive the coast. There's plenty to do, but it is different. It's not Disney outside those gates.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
but
Do you think that the Riviera Resort isn't selling out because of the restriction when you buy direct?
I think so. I think that's a. I don't know if it's the top factor, but it definitely plays into it. Well, think about it right now. If you or I bought in direct and we sell, you're selling your contract to me.
Hmm.
I can only use it at Riviera. Hmm, I don't agree with it. They're doing the same at the Disneyland Tower. So I can only assume that they're going to do this at Fort Wilderness Lodge, excuse me. So this is their new thing. And this is their way to make you buy direct.
Right.
So, and
Yeah.
just a real tidbit while we're talking DVC news, because we don't do that a lot. DVC also just lowered their direct points for membership from what was it, 150? Oh, I'm sorry, 125 down to 100. So that's another thing. So if they're doing that, Walt, they're hurting.
And that's to get a membership,
That's
correct? To
yeah.
get the
So well,
blue
before
card.
the digital days, there'd be a blue card, full fledged member.
Hmm.
Yeah, you had to buy direct points. I'm looking it up right now. Here it is. Yeah, 100 points, and it was at. Let me see here. Yep, I was. Oh, my first number was correct. It was up as high as 150. They brought it to 150 starting in 2021, and now it has been lowered to 100. So that is a sign that they are not selling direct where they want to be.
Hmm.
Because even when I bought in, it was going from 50 to 75 direct to get your blue card.
Okay.
And then it went 75, a buck 25, a buck 50.
Hmm.
You know what? I think it has to do with, I think also real quick, just to finish this part up, the economy. 150 points somewhere, you're talking tens of thousands, if not 20 plus $1,000.
Yeah, you're approaching 20
Yeah,
grand
you're
with
approaching
that.
20 grand. So now maybe I catch Walt at 10,000, you know. So smooth
Yeah.
business move, but I think the economy and demand of the product has I think hurt it a little bit. So they had no choice. But
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to be a blue card member, take advantage of
Yeah.
it.